Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Florence Jedidiah Mulenga, and welcome to our show called Beyond and Above. This is a talk show where we get to host people who are doing beyond and above in their careers or their talents. And today we have a very special guest who will be talking to us about financial literacy and how to just basically handle our finances. Our special guest is Lyapa Mbewe, an award-winning financial advisor. Lyapa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for hosting us. Lyapa, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, so my name is Lyapa Mbewe. As earlier introduced, I am an investment financial advisor and a financial literacy educator. So that's pretty much it, yes. So it just depends on what I'm doing at the time. Financial advisory is for clients, and financial literacy education is for everyone, something that I'm very passionate about.
Okay, awesome. So there's a lot of financial going on in that statement. Maybe you can just explain to us who exactly a financial advisor is, what they do, their roles, as you had explained to us what financial
literacy and advisor is. Okay, so a financial advisor, pretty much, I think in layman's language, is one of the three people that you need in your life. So you need your lawyer, you need your doctor, and you need your financial advisor. These are the three people that will help you navigate through or part of your life. So a financial advisor is pretty much someone that helps you plan out your life, your finances, puts them in order. A financial advisor will tell you where you are, where you want to be, and they'll help you navigate how to get there in terms of your money. So it's pretty much just help you plan for your money, plan for your wealth, your estate, your will, your portfolio. It's just putting it in a nutshell and advising you on how to manage your money. So it's very tailored to every individual. So every single person or an entity has a way of making money or how to make their money, and a financial advisor sits down and looks at your characteristics, your risk portfolio, and just puts it in a nutshell and creates a portfolio that is tailored to you, your needs, and your goals. And yes, that's most of what we do.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's easy. No, it isn't, especially because money is a very sensitive topic to have with people. So not everyone is willing to share their money problems or their money sources or anything like that with just anyone. It's the same thing as a doctor. You need to trust the person that you're talking to. For me to be able to tell you what my symptoms are, what my history is. So it's quite a bit especially when it comes to personal finance. Personal finance is very delicate. It's a very delicate conversation because I'm going to ask you the tough questions. I'm going to ask you your characteristics, your history with debt, with money. What's your relationship with money? How do you respond to money? What are your money triggers and all those things? So you have to be vulnerable to your financial advisor. So it's a process, especially in Zambia, because this is when financial advisory is almost like penetrating the market. So you find that it's very difficult to have these conversations with people because then they don't realize that you need to be vulnerable with me or with your financial advisor for me to be able to come up with a portfolio that suits you as an individual. So it works both ways, whether it's an entity or whether it's an individual. You need to be willing to put your money problems on the table with me so that I can help you.
Like the doctor.
Like the doctor or like the lawyer. God forbid, if you kill someone, you can only tell your mom and your lawyer that, look, this is what's going on. So it's that vulnerability that comes with it. God forbid you ever do that. But that's the vulnerability that comes with it so that, you're helped and you get the help that you need.
Well, that's very true. And earlier on, you had mentioned that someone needs a doctor, a lawyer, and a financial advisor, right? So can anyone become a financial advisor? Because not anyone can go around start diagnosing
financial problems.
Exactly. So how exactly can one be a financial advisor? Can anyone be a financial advisor?
Can anyone be? I think yes, if you really want to be. If you have a passion there, if this is something that you've studied for, if it's something that you want to pursue as a career, it's readily available for every young person or every person that is in a finance career, and this is something that you want to pursue. It's all about passion and it's all about wanting to do it. So you can become a financial advisor. So we have Securities and Exchange Commission, because you need to be licensed by SEC for you to become a financial advisor. And the beauty about becoming a financial advisor is if you go under Securities and Exchange of Zambia, there's actually a course called Stockbrokers and Investment Financial Advisors course. So they'll be able. It's about 8 to about 16 weeks course. So it's a very packed course with like 12 modules, 12 courses under it. It's very intense, so they'll take you through it, and you get like a holistic view of the capital markets and the money markets and what it is that you need to learn and all those things and what people's needs are. And apart from that, you need to do a lot of avid reading, a lot of research of what's going on locally on local markets and international markets. So when you're having these conversations with someone, because financial advisory has an investment aspect to it, and then investments are almost triggered by any economic activity. If Biden is elected as president, something is bound to change in stocks somewhere that's going to affect. It's like a ripple effect. So you need to understand what goes on in both local markets and international markets. What does it mean that there's an election coming? What does it mean for people's monies and all those things? It's not complex to that extent, but then you should be able to answer this question should a client ask, because it goes to every investment vehicle that you've put your client's money into, or yes, and all those things. So it's all about passion mostly. So anyone can be it, because the information is readily available. We have the internet, we've got BBC, CNN that you can sit and look at and all those things. So it's just something that you need to be passionate about, and I believe any single person that is interested in it can actually go into that career path. If you're a business student, especially if you're a business student and you want to branch off into financial advisory, you have the basis of it, which is finance and management or accounting or anything. So you do have a bit of an idea on investments and money or anything like that. So it's almost like just specializing. The same thing as auditing. Auditing is not, this is when now we have like a very specific course for auditing. But mostly we find that auditors are accountants that just pursued that particular career. So it's all about passion and reading about it, and also now taking courses. We've got CFA now, Chartered Financial Analyst, a course that you can take, CISI, and all those things. So it's about passion. I like to believe if you're passionate about something, you'll find a way of finding yourself in that particular career path. Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing. And so from what I've gotten is that it's like, because most of the students watching here are probably medical students, so it's mostly for religious students, but anyone who's watching. So in short, I can't just go around trusting anyone to be my doctor. At least I should see these certificates that you're actually deliberate about knowing more about financial literacy. Then I can trust you with my finance.
Yes, and this is why, especially, I had to split it in the beginning, saying there's financial advisory and financial literacy educating. So we have a lot of enthusiasts, like financial literacy enthusiasts on social media that are doing brilliant work. I've got colleagues in financial literacy educating. So they'll tell you this, and most of them will always put a disclaimer saying this is not financial advice. So I'm just telling you so that you can improve your wealth of knowledge when it comes to money and all those things. Because financial advisory on its own is something that needs to be done by someone who's licensed by the Securities and Exchange of Zambia, because then I'm telling you, you're going to take my word as gospel truth. I'm managing your money one-on-one. But if I'm giving you financial literacy information is I'm telling you that there's this investment vehicle in Zambia. You can jump on it and all those things. There's stocks somewhere, there's government bonds somewhere. So it's just general knowledge that is open. But if I sit down with you and I start giving you advice on one-on-one financial planning, then I get into financial advisory that I need to be certified for. I need to be licensed for by Securities and Exchange of Zambia, because then you can lose your money. Yes. Well, we know you can lose your money. Yeah, and money is very sensitive. So, and there are a lot of investment vehicles that are not really licensed on the market. So not just anyone can give you financial advice, but someone who's licensed by SEC will know the repercussions of telling a client to not invest in investment vehicles that will put their money at risk. So it's a very sensitive market that is highly regulated. So that's why, yes, anyone can be a financial advisor, but not anyone can give out financial advice. So the line is very thin. It's very thin.
Yeah, and you did mention about passion. What led you to become passionate about financial literacy? And now that I know that financial advisory,
Yes.
financial literacy and financial advisory are two different things, but of course they're a bit similar. What led you to have passion for both of them? Because I believe you are both.
Well, I went into financial advisory because I was in retail management, but then when I went into the finance world, and my my journey began in financial advisory when I branched into the finance world, and it was, how can I put it? It was a bit heartbreaking because I was dealing with high net individuals. So there's people that get paid within a certain tax bracket or income bracket. So there's low, medium, and high income earners. So you find that someone gets paid a lot of money, but then they don't know what to do with their money. So in my head, we have this notion saying the more money I get, the more wise I am with managing my money. Because the more you ask people, why don't you make sound financial advice, they'll tell you, I don't have money. I'll start making proper decisions, yes, when I start making more money.
Like
I'm working, yes. But then the problem is, especially when it comes to footballers, when you do your analysis, most of the footballers that actually branch out of their career are actually broke now. So it just clearly tells us saying wealth is not equivalent, income rather is not equivalent to wealth. So it's someone who is deliberate with their money that actually branches into wealth. So you can just be someone that gets paid a lot of money, but then you can never achieve financial freedom or wealth because you don't know how to manage it. And for me, it became a problem when you see that the higher the paycheck, the more illiterate they are. And I'm like, what's the problem? So if the guy with a lot of money doesn't know how to manage their money, what about the person that doesn't get a lot of money? So it's a problem across the board. It's not just subject to one person. And that's what people didn't understand. They always thought the more the money you have, the more financial literate you are. It doesn't work like that. And for me, that's what made me get into financial literacy, educating. So I wanted a lot of people to know that wealth is not about how much you earn. It's about a mentality. It's about you having honest conversations with yourself about money. How do I manage my money? I want to be financially free. Where do I start? Do I save up for it until I have a lump sum of money? Then later on start playing in the big leagues in terms of investments and all those things, and just starting from somewhere, because it's not when you get there. If you can't manage a 10,000 kwacha, you will not manage 100,000 kwacha, and that's just that's just it. Wealth is it's a subsection. It's a result of financial literacy, and not the other way around. So you don't think you're going to become wealthy then start learning how to manage your money. No, you have to start managing your money to get to wealth. So it's all those things that are just very heartbreaking.
Yeah. True. My mom is always saying, you need to keep track of your finances.
Yes.
You need to keep track of how you're losing money. And it brings me to the next question. How best can a student really handle their finances? Because you find a situation whereby, for example, scholarship students, every month you are given an allowance, but then by the time the allowance is coming, the money is gone the first day. So, like, how best can a student manage their finances?
Okay. I think it takes me back to my earlier statement about wealth not being equivalent to income. So it doesn't matter how little you are, it's the mentality behind how much you're earning. I'll give you an example, case in point. Helpers, maids, or gardeners. A lot of us have helpers that will come to you and tell you that they finished building their house. How does a helper who takes home 800 kwacha or 1000 kwacha, and let's say she's married to her spouse, maybe brings home maybe 1500 kwacha, collectively they bring home maybe 3000 kwacha or 3500 kwacha, they have 2 children there, they never sleep hungry, and they'll come to you and they'll tell you that they've built a house. They've built a house,
so
yes, in where they're staying, in China, in Tendere or whatnot. They've built a house that is equivalent to their income, but they've built a house. So what are we doing wrong that they're doing right? Yes. So they've mastered the art of money. They've mastered what money can do for them, no matter how little it is. So you, who is a student, of course lifestyles differ, but you who's, let's say not even a student, let's say a graduate, a recent graduate, or you get your first job and all those things, you take home 9,000 kwacha or 8,000 or 5,000 kwacha, and you can barely manage your finances. But then your maid, your helper will come and she'll ask for an advance, saying, "Madam, I'm asking for an advance." Why? Because I want to finish the floor in my house. And you're renting and she's your employee. And then she has a whole house. So it tells you that it's a mentality aspect. So the first thing is stop keeping up with the Joneses. Stop keeping up with your neighbor. You don't know. Your friend might have generational wealth. It might be coming from an inheritance, a trust fund, or parents that can actually take care of them. But because you want to keep up with the next person, you don't know. Maybe they have a partner that helps them with their money. But with the little that you have, you want to compete with what you're seeing with your naked eyes. You don't know what the underlying or source of their income. So once we become content with ourselves, what it is that you want as an individual, what do you want out of this life as an individual, you will stop looking left and right and you'll focus in your own lane. So stick to your own lane. So stop finding yourself in unnecessary debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. So stop finding yourself in bad debt, but debt to clear off your lifestyle, to finance your lifestyle, anything. Stop living for the weekend. What can this money do for you? There are people that I know that from 1,000 kwacha, they reinvested it in a tiny business, and that business made a little bit more money for them. It's starting from somewhere. I'm not pushing you to start selling fritters or anything like that, but I'm telling you that whatever it is that you put your mind to, the little money that you have can work for you. Discipline, it starts from discipline. It's called see if I can remember. It works a lot with prayer also. So it starts out as a duty. It starts out as a duty. So a duty is something that you need to do. You need to do whether you like it or not. Then it grows into a discipline. So discipline is, I don't like it, but I need to do it. Then from there, it grows into a delight. I actually like doing it. So once you take money in that mentality, saying a duty is whatever 1,000 kwacha I have, I want to save 40% of it, 400 kwacha. I'm going to put it in a mini investment vehicle somewhere. I'm going to reinvest it in a tiny business, or I'm going to let it go to a certain amount, and I'm going to move it here, and all those things and whatnot. So it starts from there. Yes. And then from there, it becomes a discipline. Whatever money I have, no matter how small, I'm going to keep aside 40% of it. Then it becomes a delight because you like it. Yeah. So there's quite a number of things. But for me, is stop keeping up with the Joneses, stay away from debt, and also, I'll tell you, when it comes to compound interest and investments, it favors the young. I don't know why people think that wealth is for the older people. Like you start achieving wealth when you are in your late 30s or early 40s. Wealth is for the people in the early 20s. Once you can understand what investments can do for you, what compound interest can do for you in your early 20s and mid 20s, by the time you hit your 30s or your mid 30s or 40s, you can retire at 40. Why? Because investment favors the young. So see what investment vehicles are out there and just jump into it. Play, yes, enjoy your youth, but if you can start working now for your future, you are unstoppable.
So what I have understood from what you said is for the graduate and for the students, or just basically everybody watching this, we need to learn how to be disciplined about our finances. So we need to save. Now, I know this will be a bit off topic, but when it comes to saving, should someone have a goal towards what they're saving for, or you can just start saving because you just want to be disciplined?
Okay, so the beauty about investments and savings, so there's the savings aspect and there's the investment aspect, yeah. So the thing about an investment is you need to have a goal in the back of your mind. A goal helps you narrow the focus. You know that I want to make let's say 20,000 kwacha by the end of the year. So if you have a figure attached to it, if you have a time attached to your goal, I can guarantee you, Florence, whatever it is that you do will not deviate you from your plan. I can come to you, I'm selling a beautiful pair of shoes, a handbag, whatever your money trigger is. You, in the back of your mind, you know that I have a goal, 20,000 kwacha, and this goal needs to be met by December 2021. Or I have a friend of mine and he put me up to the task. He has a 10K US dollar, 10,000 USD every single year as money saved in the bank. For him, it's not business because he runs a lot of businesses, but for him is disposable money. He always wants 10K USD seated in his account at the end of every year. So his goal is there. He splits it in 2 months. He splits it into the quarter of the year. I was having a chat with him, I think like 3 days ago, and he was telling me saying, have you come up to a task? I'm there. I'm like, yes, I have. I will get there, but then don't expect me to have maybe like the entire amount. And he just told me saying, whatever it is that you do, put the goal in your mind. If you end at 7K, you know you would have worked towards the 10K. But the problem is, imagine I just open a dollar account and I just tell myself, I'm just opening a dollar account guess what? I'll just be putting $10, $5 because this is goalless. But if I have an accountability partner, I have my husband. My husband is very disciplined when it comes to funds. Yes. And I have a friend who will call me, doesn't care if I've had emergencies, if my house burned down. He's just asking me, how much have you saved so far? And I remember he asked me this, saying the first half of the year has gone. I know you only caught up like in May. Was it May or April? Yes. But then I'm telling you that you need to meet the goal. So put a target amount, then start investing. So there's savings accounts and there's investments accounts. So investments accounts work like savings accounts, but the interests on them are much higher. They're called unit trusts. So there's some banks that are offering this, and there are also some investment companies and some insurance companies that are offering investment accounts or unit trusts. So go there, you find that they're offering you maybe 10% per annum, or they're offering you 20% per annum or 15% per annum. It's better if you put it in an investment account because then it's growing at a better exponential rate. Yeah. So savings accounts will give you maybe 2% or 1.5% or 3%, yeah? But then an investment account is for that particular goal, investing. So you tell yourself, I'm going to be putting aside 500 kwacha every single month. Go, have a chat with an investment or an account manager or a portfolio manager from any of these investment companies, a financial advisor. You find them there and they'll tell you, they'll advise you. We'll be investing your money in stocks, we'll be investing your money in real estate, we'll be investing your money in money markets, in capital markets, and at the end of the year, we'll be able to give you 18% on your investments and whatnot. It's calculated like this. So open an investment account, put a goal to it. I want to be investing 200 kwacha every month. So it's never little money. 200 kwacha, 300 kwacha, I'll be putting aside this much every month. I want to have this much at the end of the year. Right now, if I tell you that we need to travel to Cape Town in December, you will do whatever it takes to have 15,000 kwacha. If I tell you that a flight is 7,000, you will do whatever it takes to say, I need 7,000 kwacha for my flight, 7,000 kwacha to spend, yes. So you will do whatever it takes. If your parents send you even just 2,000 kwacha saying buy groceries, you won't. You put it somewhere. If you see a nice pair of shoes, you won't buy it. You've got to go. That's the beauty about goal setting. So it works like that. It works on your mind. Yeah. So once you put a target, a time frame, and you put an amount, you're unstoppable.
Okay. So a little bit on the investment account, just in case of maybe someone wants to open an investment account, they can just go to any bank and they'll be advised.
So you need to do a lot of shopping around. Okay. So we usually laugh about this with my colleagues that are in the financial literacy space. Unfortunately, I can't tell you everything. So I'm going to tell you what's good for you, but then when it comes to money, you should be willing to do the work also. So you've heard it that Lyapa has told you that there are investment accounts in Zambia. Yeah. Take the other step and go out there and do your shopping. Yeah. So there are quite a number. So you can start with insurance companies. List down some insurance companies and find out from them. There are investment companies in Zambia and there are also banks in Zambia. So what you can do is sit down, do your shopping, visit maybe 3 in a week until you are satisfied with something. What risk appetite do you have as an individual? Are you a gambler or are you a reserved type of person? How much interest do you want on your account? What are your characteristics as an investor? So once you find out the type of person you are, you should be able to find a match in terms of an account. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I feel that's very great advice and so much wisdom, because these are things that people don't know about. If people could start saving now, then they would be at a better place.
Investing.
Yeah.
Investing. So there's a difference between saving and investing.
Oh,
investing.
Okay. Investing. Yes. Oh, yeah. You talked about the savings account and the investment account.
Yes.
So investing.
Yes.
So you would be at a better level like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So that's the investing.
Yes.
So I'll take you to the next question, which is where I personally follow you a lot, and I watched a video of one the TEDx that not the one that you recently did. I don't know if you did one recently.
No. I've only done one TEDx talk.
Okay, yeah. That's the one. Then I'm safe.
Yeah.
So you did talk about black tax and generational wealth, and I'd like our audience to understand those terms, because I feel these are topics that we don't talk about, and I feel this is a platform that we can get to share with the people out there what these terms mean and what we can do about it.
Okay.
So black tax and generational wealth.
Okay. So they go hand in hand. So black tax is how can I put this? Oh, you can watch the video. It's a very It's a very controversial video.
Yes.
Yeah, it might get you into a family meeting if you go about telling everyone, saying, you know what, this is what black tax is. So anyway, black tax is money that is demanded from you by your parents because they took you to school, they gave birth to you. Your mom will constantly remind you that she carried you for 9 months. Your dad will tell you that he sacrificed a limb just to get you through school. They'll remind you that. So it's something that is embedded in the back of our minds to give back to our families, to send money back. It's something that how do I say this without getting anyone in trouble? It's in actual sense, it's something that is almost, to a certain extent, it's manipulative. Yes, it's great because as Africans, we are taken care of by the community. If your parents die, your aunts will take you in, your brothers will take you in, and all those things. Yeah, but then it becomes a bit toxic when you start giving birth because you want your children to take care of you. That becomes black tax. Yeah, if I'm married, I have a husband. Right now, we love our parents, means we want to give back. We want to give back out of a point of love. That is not black tax. But if my parents are going to guilt-trip me to give back, it becomes black tax. It's a problem when your brother took care of you and then he sends you one of his children for you to take care of. That's black tax. It's a guilt trip. So the problem with that is we are consciously not building wealth or not planning for our retirement because we know that we've got children that will take care of us. It is a bit manipulative, if you ask me. Yeah. So once you get to a point of understanding that I have an income coming in now, and I will grow old at a certain point, or I won't have an income coming in at a certain point, and I need to plan post my retirement so I don't shift the burden from myself to my children to take care of me, then you would have started thinking about generational wealth, and then you won't start passing on burdens. You can actually pass on money. Yes. So that mentality is something that needs to be rubbed off. Not entirely, but then let's change the narrative. That's pretty much what I talk about in the video, is how do we move from passing on burdens to passing on wealth? Yes. So right now, you're young, you are energetic, you are in medical school right now. Once you are done with school, you know that you want to get a job, a very sustainable job. You even know your income bracket, depending on what it is that you're studying. If you're going to be taking home a certain amount and you know that you want to work maybe up to the age of 60 or up to the age of 55, what happens after 55? If you're taking home 15,000 kwacha, you won't be taking home 15,000 kwacha in your retirement. So what's going to happen between 55 years old and the time that you pass? Let's say 55 to 90, if you get to live up to 90 or 95 years old, what happens to the post 40 years of your life? Are you going to say the children that you're going to give birth to are going to take care of you? So that's manipulated. You're already telling me that your retirement plan are your children. So it's a conscious thing. So, but then if you start planning for your retirement now, you know that I want to be earning 15,000 kwacha even in my retirement. Then you come up with a portfolio, investing, and that's where investments come from. You come up with a pot that will allow you to still earn 15,000 kwacha, even more, because you have that 8 hour more on your clock. When you're in retirement, you won't be working, so you have an extra 8 hours on your clock. So you know that you need more money because then you have more time. So you start planning for it. What does your retirement look like? I want to travel in my retirement. I want to see the world in my retirement. I want to live on a farm in my retirement. I don't want to be in Zambia. I want to go and live in, I want to go and live in Greece. You've got time. You've got time to dream. And that's the thing, the dream is free. You've got time to envision what you want to do in your retirement. I want to do so much when I retire. I don't want to work for the rest of my life. So what I can do is I can work out my passions now so that even in my retirement, I can work because I choose to. Yeah. can open your own practice on the side or anything like that and whatnot, but then it's something that you're doing just because. So once you can start planning for your retirement, you can actually retire early. The retirement age is actually reduced to 40 now. You retire at 40 because you've planned for it. Yeah. So if you start putting aside money now, build a portfolio so sustainable that it never runs out. So let's say you build a portfolio for 15, let's put it at, let's say 100,000 for argument's sake. 100,000 kwacha is the pot that you build. Your 10% is going to be 10,000. Yes. So 10,000 or $100,000, then $10,000 is how much you're earning every single year as your interest. So your portfolio is $100,000, yes, and you want 10,000 as your annual income on your portfolio. That 10,000 kwacha can be split into 12 so that you're earning a particular amount every single month. Yes. So you need to start thinking of a pot that will help you live off the interest for the rest of your life. So that particular pot will never run out. You'll be living off the interest. So it's almost like you're creating a pot that will help you have a sustainable income for the rest of your life, or a portfolio. So your portfolio can have real estate, it can have stocks, it can have money in the money markets, and all those things. So when you look at all this, it should be able to earn you your 15,000 kwacha, even more in your retirement. So you can plan that now, but then we want to leave it to chance. That's the problem. So if you look at that, you are actually planning for generations. Should you pass, there's still that pot. Imagine what someone can do if you were to build even a pot up to $500,000. Imagine what your family can do with that pot even after your passing. Yes, we don't want to talk about death, but your children can live off that pot also. Yes, you can open trust funds for your children so that even the time that they're retiring from college or from university, you can give it to them as a gift. Young people now are very innovative. They want to open their own businesses. They want to run their own businesses. Imagine what it can do for your child if you handed them a check for even like 2 million kwacha, or even just 1 million kwacha, even 500,000. Say, look, I saved this up for you. It's hard out there. You can get yourself a smoker. You can rent, like put aside a little bit for rent, and then start your own business from there. Be innovative, be creative. What do you want to do? It's those very little things. We don't want to think about them, especially as Africans. We don't want to think about them, but they're very achievable, and that's passing on generational wealth. Instead of calling your child and you treating them, you don't love me anymore, I took care of you, you're now married. And imagine it's a young man he's just gotten married already. He's trying to make sense in our economy. He's trying to make sense of his 10,000 kwacha take home. He's living in a house for 3,500 kwacha or 4,000 kwacha. He needs to buy food for 2,500 kwacha. He needs to put gas in the car that's going to cost him 2,500 kwacha. By the time he realizes it, the young man is living from paycheck to paycheck, and he's living in debt. And on top of that, you're going to call him every month and say, look, I need this money, I need to do this. And then you start insulting him, saying, we don't even like your wife, she's the one that's making you do this. Look, we just don't have money and all those things. But if I'm going to give back, I know that I've got parents there, and I'm going to give back from a point of love, but not from a point of cohesion. And that's the thin line with black tax. Yeah. So giving back should be from a point of love. I want to do it, but not because I know that hell is going to rain down on me if I do not give back. So it's just something to think about, and I know it's going to take a bit of time for it to settle into our mind. But I believe that this is the generation. We are young. Yes. We are the generation that can start investing for ourselves, so that our children can start from an advantage. Why not? Let's remove this saying, you don't know what I went through, so you have to throw the ground. why can't, because you know how hard it is, why not give them a bit of an advantage? You're not spoiling them, but then you're telling them the world is hard. So here's a little something for you to get started, so that you don't have to suffer as much as I did. So it's changing the mentality, and I like to believe we all want to be financially free. So build your wealth so you can live an extraordinary life in your retirement. You can retire early. You can do what you want to do.
That's really amazing. And what I've gotten from all of this is the issue of deliberateness. I feel because of that mentality that we have, that definitely our children should give us back. There's that we lack the deliberators to actually save up for after retirement. So if we could be deliberate, as you have said right now, and think about the retirement package right now, then we could be changing generations and generations, and our country will actually be moving forward. Because now most people will have financial freedom, and people won't be complaining about certain things. Anyways,
I hear you.
Thank you so much. That's some great wisdom right there. Another issue I want to talk to you about is personal branding. I feel a lot of people don't know the importance of personal branding. So if you can just explain to us a bit about personal branding and how it's worked for you, because when I think of financial literacy, I'm thinking Lyapa Mbewe or Mwawangenda. So how have you people branded yourself in such a way whereby when I'm thinking finances, I'm thinking you guys. So to the point that I probably trust you. I mean, if I'm thinking medicine, I'm thinking Dr. Mbewe. You understand?
I know, right?
So how is personal branding? How has it worked for you? Why is it important? And also, what is it exactly?
Okay. I think just to explain it in very layman's terms is, people buy what they see. Yes, you go into a supermarket, you don't know how the apple tastes, but you're going to look at it first, and then you're going to take it home with you. You don't know if it's rotten on the inside, but if it's looking good on the outside, you buy it, and all those things. So appearances, or how you put out your content out there, matters the most, because then people will prejudice you. They'll look at your content, how it appears, how you carry yourself, and all those things. Like, you've already elaborated to me, saying, look, I trust you because of what you put out there. Yes, you trust Dr. Mjajati because of how I trust him to a certain extent also. Yes. So it's how he carries himself. It's the content that he puts out there. So you can be the most fashion-centric or fashion-forward person out there. You can have the best graphics out there, but then content is what people want. If you are what you say you are, you should be able to speak the language. You should be able to put it out. You should be able to explain it. There's a saying that goes, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old and you don't understand it yourself, you should be able to put it in a way that is teachable. It's almost like teachable to the next person. So it's content. What content are you putting out? We've got cooks out there. You can see Lulu Hangala and her husband. They'll cook a lobster right in front of you. You don't even know how to cook it, but they'll break it down in layman's terms, where you feel like you're a chef in your kitchen also, and all the things. So you want to put it in the most simplified way. And first things first, you want to define who you are. What type of a person are you? Are you a reserved person? What type of information? To what extent are you going to put yourself out there? Yes. Once you draw the line, saying I'm a financial literacy educator, I talk about personal finance and investments and all those things, I know that is almost like my limit or my niche. Yes, and it will help me perfect what it is that I'm talking about. So I'm not a jack of all trades. I specialize in this particular niche, and this is what I'll be talking about, and this is what I'm going to specialize. I'm going to research about this and all those things. So you narrow down your niche. This is who I am. Yeah. First things first, that will help you narrow down with even just your appearance. Who do I need? What team do I need to make all this happen? Yeah. Do I need a graphics guy who's going to help me put this all together? Do I need to clearly outline how my social media pages are going to look like, my appearances in public are going to look like, which places am I going to be found in. So personal branding goes beyond how will I dress. So another person, it will be very, how can I put this? It'll be very shocking if you went to a Lyapa Mbewe page and you found me in a very short skirt, a very tiny skirt, or a bikini. You'll be there like, okay, it's permissible for me to wear a bikini because I'm going swimming. But then if I take that and I put it on my page, and it's contradicting what I talk about. But then if you find a model in a bikini on their page, that is their niche. So how do you present yourself? Yes, if you find a model in a robe and whatnot, you'll be there like, I'm not understanding what's going on here. But then if you find them in fashion forward clothes and all those things, you are used to it because that's their niche. Yes. So who are you as an individual, so that you don't contradict yourself? Yeah. I have a personal account there. I will post that. But when it comes to my work, I know that what I'm posting is work, and this is what I'm trying to communicate, so that I don't distort you. Yeah. Because then you'll be there like, Madam, who are you? What are we supposed? So it's a pastor. You find this with even just clergy. They present themselves a certain way. They have their lifestyles behind closed doors, but they have to put up a certain image. It's not double ganging, but then you need to understand who your niche is, and you need to work around that, how you carry yourself. So there's a lot to do with personal brand, even just places that you're found. Yeah. You want to narrow it down, saying this is who I am, this is what I do, and you find me in these places, you find me in these locations, and all those things. And also you want to know how to separate your personal lifestyle from your work, so that the line is drawn. Yeah. So you find, I don't know if you know, there's a gentleman called Vusi Tembekwayo in South Africa. He's very huge, and I remember he posted something when people kept on picking on him, saying, "We've never seen your wife. We've never seen your wife." And he said, "It's like, but my wife is not my job. It's none of your business." So for him, he just chose, "You're not going to see my wife, because I'm not here to talk about my family or my wife. I'm here to talk about VC, venture capitalism, and entrepreneurship, and all those things. I'm not here to talk about my wife. People that have access to my wife will see my wife," and all those things. So for him, he's chosen that. The people that do that and the people that don't do that. So you want to know who you are and how you're going to brand yourself. Yeah. And just not to contradict yourself, really. Just don't contradict yourself. Say who you are and just stick to it. Find your niche and just stick to it. Dress well. Dress according to your to what it is that you are. If you're a doctor, you're going to dress like a doctor. If you are a model, you're going to dress like a model. If you are a politician, politicians are now on social media, you're going to speak and you're going to dress like a politician, and all those things. Find your niche. Yeah. Find your niche and then stick to it. Don't try and sway. Especially when it comes to social media, you find that you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do that. It's good if you can be an expert at all the things, but then if you can find your niche and narrow it down, that will work best for you. Yeah.
Wow, that's really amazing. So the way you put it makes me realize that personal branding is actually a very wide topic. It's not something that you can just say, "Oh, I'm a medical student, I'm a pharmacy student, I'm going to brand myself this way."
Yeah.
It's something you need to really think about and know exactly what you want the world to know you for.
Yeah, because they will, unfortunately.
My next question would be, we've talked about financial literacy, we've talked about financial advisor, we've talked about investment, we've talked about savings, we've talked about so many things. But then, who is Lyapa Mbewe aside from all these financial stories? Because for me, the first time I knew about you was through an interview with Mwape, which had to do with relationship advice, how to handle your finances in a relationship, and all that. So, who is Lyapa Mbewe aside from
the money person, or the person that talks about money?
Yes.
I am. How can I put? I'm an avid Christian. I'm like a church girl. I love my Jesus. I love walking with the Holy Spirit. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and I am a wife to one man. Yes, an amazing human being. I literally married my best friend, and he is like the other version of me, but then he's funnier and he's louder and he's more fun, and he's such a joy. Yes. And I'm a deco enthusiast. I love thank you. An interior deco enthusiast. Actually, I have like a side business away from work, away from anything. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. If I were to dump financial advisory, I would literally jump into interior designing. With social media, people have freedom of speech, so they are allowed to strike you down. They're allowed to criticize, because then you're putting out certain information, so they place a demand on you to speak, to put out content, especially content. There are people that are known for vulgar speaking. That's their niche. That's their personal branding. The people that insult and have arguments on social media. That's their niche. That's their brand. That's their strategy. So you also need to know what you can engage in and what you can't engage in. Especially with algorithms on Facebook, they'll see you comment. They'll see you comment on Mwevantu, and you put up a very unruly comment. Someone will screen grab it, and then they'll circulate it. Say, so you want to know? No, you can't. You can't. So
that's really amazing.
And I would pour my heart out in there, and I love doing that. I'm very passionate about it. So that's me.
That's really amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you need someone to design your, you call them interiors?
Interiors. So it's interior spaces. I'm a plant mom. I love plants. It's just those things. That's like another conversation for another day.
Are you one of those who talks to the plants?
Yes, I do. I do. Actually, you need to talk to them. You need to nurture. They listen. They love a huge smile when your foils don't die on you. So you speak to your home. When you get into your home, you want to create a space that is very nurturing for your passions, for yourself, for your partner. You spend so much of your time out there, and the world is crazy. We have COVID, we have so much going on, but then you want to come back to a place that looks like you, that feels like you. So why not invest in your space? If you love to look good, the same way you love to look good, dress your home. And for me, that's something I'm very passionate about. Like, create a home that is you, that's very cozy.
That's really amazing. I actually didn't know that side of you. So, guys, you know where to go if you need your interiors to be decorated. To someone who's really passionate about it. And I think you need someone who's passionate about it to do it for you, because your home is going to look very beautiful. Anyways, we have come to the end of the show, and we're going to conclude with one question, really. And that question would be, I feel you've really gone beyond and above in your career, just like the name of the show, Beyond and Above. How would you advise someone who really wants to go beyond and above in their career? They just want to do something really out of their comfort zone in their career. How would you advise them to take that step?
Okay, there's something that is very dangerous, and that's passion. Passion can only be buried for so long. So once you find something that you're passionate about, I advise you to grab it with both hands. The people that change the norm, we've seen Elon Musk now wants to go out of space because he is just very radical. He is crazy good. So for him, he says, I don't call it luck. Don't tell me I'm lucky if I work hard, if I don't sleep, if I dream beyond. And that it applies with every part of your life. If you're passionate about soccer, there are people that, when it's time for a game, you can't talk to them. they just become blind to the world. It's just them and the screen. That's because they're passionate about it. You find it in how they talk about it. They'll tell you about the transfers that are currently happening. They're passionate about it. Why? Because they read about it. They follow the news. So that's passion. So if you can be passionate about something like that, you can apply that kind of passion to every single part of your life. So if it's in your career, this is why you've got the further you go, the narrower the road. Why? Because only very few people are willing to defy the odds and also go the extra mile. Why? Because it requires passion burning inside of you. It requires you reading about it, to analyze it, to do your competitor analysis, to just to sit down and nurture it. Not everyone can vie for presidency. For example, why? Because only a selected number of people are crazy enough, and are quite crazy, to do the extraordinary. So you need to be crazy for starters. It's not normal, really, because the norm is sit down, live the Zambian life. The Zambian dream is go to school, go to college, get married, get yourself a husband or a wife, retire, buy a farm, build a 3-bedroom house, you're good. That's the Zambian dream. That's the norm. But then there are people that are crazy, that they say, I want a 5-story building, glass house on a 10-acre piece of land. I want to travel the world. I want my children to go to Ivy League schools. I want to do this. I want to pursue my bachelor's in accounting or in pharmacy. Then after that, maybe after I work for 10 years, I want to try business school. I want to go back and do a bachelor's in business administration. I want to be an auditor at some point. I want to open a bank. I want to build the biggest hospital. I want to be, those are dreams. Imagine, that's crazy. That is not normal. So once you sit down and your dreams keep you up during the day, the dreams that will keep you up at night, but the dreams that are radical are the ones that keep you up during the day. Those are the ones that are achievable, because then it's broad daylight out there, and then you can get on a bus, you can jump into the car, you can go to the next meeting, you can pitch your ideas. That's the beauty about partnerships also. You can have the dreams, I can have the money. Your dream can be financed by someone who doesn't have the passion that you have. And that's why the rich get richer. That's why the billionaires get richer. Why? Because they partner with fellow billionaires and millionaires to achieve the bigger dreams. So find a dream, find something that you're passionate about, and find someone to finance it. That's just how it works. So be crazy. Find a little bit of crazy and sprinkle it on your dreams. Then now we can talk about the definers, the ones that just say, look, guys, you are in class, all of you are on chapter 5 and they've already finished 3rd year. And they're like, why? And they're just like, guys, like, I just want to get this over with and done because I've already moved on to the next level. Those are the people that you see that are already writing books in 1st year or 2nd year. They're just there like, guys, like, I'm so passionate about this. Like, I want to know, like, who wrote the book? Who inspired the writer of the book? And that, where they're just like, I want to know more about this. They go about it. They find cures for things that bother them. If I talk about financial illiteracy, I should be willing to go out and find a cure for it. Let me talk about it. Let me talk to someone about it. So it's the right amount of crazy. Really, if I tell you anything else, I think I'll be lying. And because God has a very good sense of humor, there's a way that He tailors everyone's mind. So He puts the right amount of passion, and that passion will drive you to your destiny as an individual. So it's very few people don't even define their own destinies. Like they don't define them like in their own lane, because God has inserted purpose in each one of us. So you should be able to find your purpose. Like, who am I as an individual? God did not send you here to live the Zambian dream. like the numbers I'm leaving. He sent you here for a purpose. So once you dig in and you take it out and say, you know what, this is what God had in mind for me, then you're set the right type of crazy, and you grab onto the Holy Spirit and you tell him, say, whatever happens, I know that you're going to help me achieve it. So find that crazy. That the crazy is crazy. You might have to drop off a few relationships.
Yeah.
You might be called boring in school. Why? Because for you do the extraordinary. You're not just the mere child or the mere person or the mere friend. For you see life in extra dimensional lenses, and you just like, guys, me, Apamule Mbona, I am killing ants, but my future has big things, and for me to be able to get to those big things, I am working now. We're having a conversation with a gentleman here, and he's saying he's already on his road to 100k. And imagine if someone who's young can make 100k. If you're 24 years old, or let's say you're 21, and you're already thinking about your first 100k, your first 100,000 kwacha. And if you can make it even in like a course of 4 years or 3 years and all those things, imagine what you can do once you master such an amount at a tender age. You will learn to master the bigger amount. And when the bigger amounts start coming in, there'll be child's play because you've already mastered it. So I can go on and on, but just find the right amount of crazy. You will be exceptional at it. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lyapa, for joining us. It's such an honor, and we've learned so much. This is so much wisdom, guys. And I remember she did mention when we were chatting that in as much as she shared this information, it may not get to the number of people we may want to spread the information to. So it's our duty, now that we have learned and understood these things, we need to go now spread this word to our parents, our friends, our partners,